Good morning, everyone. My name is Izumi from Okinawa International University. Today I'm going to talk about the topic, as you can see, the development of an empirical-based TQA approach to translator education. So what is TQA? Well, TQA stands for Translation Quality Assessment. And there are various ways of defining it, but in my view, it can be defined from perspectives of purpose. And there could be two purposes. One is a translation produced by a professional translator, and which is evaluated by a client or other stakeholders for quality assurance purposes. And the second type could be a translation produced by a novice translator and for the purpose of developing their translation competence. In terms of types of existing TQAs, there are two types: error analysis reduction method or criterion referencing method. So let me explain each of the types. The first type, the error analysis reduction method, is still the mainstream assessment method in translation, in which errors are identified in terms of accuracy, readability, punctuation, etc. And if there is an error, and score is deducted. And this is quite often used for the purpose of getting license qualifications or accreditations, as you can see from the case of Australian National Accreditation System, which is called NATI. And in this method, one problem is that strengths are not taken into consideration because only errors are subject to the focus. And it tends to be used for testing, so the assessment, a particular focus is placed on assessing translation product only, not process. And another problem would be its assessment standards. It tends to be quite ambiguous. So interpretations of like omissions, accuracy, readability could vary depending on how these terms are perceived by assessors. On the contrary, criterion referencing method is still in the process of development, but this aims to understand the current level of usually novice translation competence, so that enables them to understand where they stand in the pathways of translation expertise. And it can be used for one-off testing, for example, or continuous as a means of formative assessment. And if a designer can devise a way, it can include both strengths and rooms of improvements.